Shelf styling is one of those things that could be really intimidating, but there are actually a couple key principles that just make it really easy to take it from putting all of your stuff up on a shelf to intentionally styled and looking really nice. And I'm going to teach you all of those principles right now. Can shelf styling be a little confusing and intimidating, but so can decorating overall. But it's just like anything else where you can learn a couple key principles and it'll help you see it in a totally different way, and you can practice it and get better. So that is my goal. I'm Carla from Vintage Hip Decor. I love decorating and I want to teach you the things that I've learned so far. So if you want to stick around and hang out with me a little bit more, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and we're going to get straight into the tips. I do want to put a little disclaimer that everybody has different taste, and if it looks good to you, then that means it's good. And if you like it, then it's perfect. I'm just going to share a couple tips that can help steer you in the right direction if you don't know where to start. But the fun part is that you could take all this and make it your own and apply it to your shelves in a way that you think looks good. So we're gonna dive right in with the first tip, and that is always, whenever you're gonna restyle anything, clear everything off of it. So we're gonna completely empty off these shelves, and then I will show you step 2. This is also a good opportunity to dust off your shelves before you begin. Now that your shelves are all cleared off and dusted, you want to gather up everything that you want to style your shelves with. So you can go around your home and borrow things from other rooms, go and find books and vases and trinkets, plants, anything that you want to use to style. The important part is to gather all of those things in one place so that you can see all at once what you have to work with. You also want to try and grab more than you think you're going to need. So once you're ready to start putting things up on your shelf, you want to start with your biggest items first, and always consider balance. So I don't necessarily mean symmetry, where you have 2 identical items on either side of your shelf, although of course you could do that. I'm just talking about balance in terms of that visual weight. So I have put this big item down in this corner and another one in that corner, instead of putting them both on one side where they would be unbalanced and there would be nothing kind of heavy over here. The eye likes to have things balanced out. Next, I brought in this big piece of artwork because it is also large, so I need to start with it towards the beginning so that I can layer things in front of it, but it also adds some nice height. Throughout this whole process, we want to think about varying heights in our items to also create some interest. Next, I brought in some smaller home decor items that represent 2 of the principles we're talking about today, and the first is height. Like we just brought in some height with that painting up there. That is just vertical height, but we also want to just bring in varying heights throughout all of our items. So these are all different heights down here, and these bottles are too, and they kind of seem maybe a little too similar in height. So if you ever want to just kind of bring in some more variation, you can use a book to lift a little bit. Now that brought in a lot more visual interest and different heights. The other principle that applies to these items that I just brought in is vignettes, which just means a grouping of items. So you usually want to aim for odd numbers when it comes to vignettes. You can do 3, 5, or 7. Now that's not like a hard and fast rule that you're not allowed to break. Feel free to kind of be creative with this, but for the most part, most people lean into 3, 5, or 7. So I still had some empty space over here, so I brought in this little vignette next to the bigger plant that's smaller than it, it's shorter than it, but we still have a couple varying heights over here. So that fills in that area very nicely. So you should never underestimate the power of greenery to bring your decor to life. So you can use real plants, of course, you can use faux plants, and you can mix both together. I have this real plant back here that I brought in a little earlier because it was one of my bigger items. But now I want to bring in a little bit more greenery to balance out on this side. So I'm going to stick this guy up here, and that actually also balances out our 2 white pots. And now that the shelves are fully styled, we brought together all those principles of balance and height, vignettes, and greenery, and it all comes together to create this wonderful textured, layered look that is more intentionally styled and decorated instead of just a shelf to store all of your stuff. these basic principles helped you look at styling a little bit differently. And remember that you can always change it up. It's never permanent. Decor is one of the easiest things to just switch around again until you find something that you like, and practice is definitely gonna help. If you have any more questions about shelf styling, leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer those. And I wanna challenge you to go to a shelf in your home, or you could even do like the top of a dresser or a nightstand and restyle and kind of practice with some of these principles and see what you come up with. If you hadn't noticed from watching my shelf decorating ideas, I decorate with a lot of vintage decor. And if you are looking for some decor, go to vintagehipdecor.com, where we sell lots of one-of-a-kind antique and vintage decor. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this inspired you to see your home in a new light. If you think you'll never know how to decorate, you're completely wrong. So, no, let's not get into it. The first take was the best take.